Our next guest is giving us play-by-play when it comes to tackling what's next in your life.
That's right. Eric Wood is a former NFL center for the Buffalo Bills. He was with the team for 9 years before a spinal injury ended his pro career back in 2018. Now, with much left to offer the sport, he stayed involved in football as a commentator and by calling games for major networks.
And now he's releasing a new book called Tackle What's Next, where he draws on his own experience and life pivot to inspire others. And we are so thankful that Eric Wood is joining us this morning.
Welcome,
Hello.
Eric.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good morning. Yeah, we're great.
I feel like we were just talking. I feel like I've known you forever.
Right. Yeah.
We're
We're having a great conversation. Talking about Cincinnati, where he's from, and
Exactly.
Skyline Chili and all that good stuff.
Yeah. We've talked a lot on this broadcast about pivoting. You know, people, especially after the pandemic, people were like, what do I do now? What is my calling? You transitioned out of the National Football League into something completely different. Why make that decision, and how did you do it?
Well, that decision was made for me. I
bet.
thought I was going to still be playing for the Buffalo
Yeah.
Bills now, and it would be a lot of fun as good as they are now. But I signed a contract extension before my last season in the NFL, which ended up being my 9th year. Played every single snap that season, which in NFL football,
That's unheard of.
yeah, your shoe could come untied.
Exactly.
You're beating a team too bad. You're losing too bad. And then the injury rate is 100%. You can just play through some things. We always say there's a difference between being hurt and injured.
Right.
But
It's that the coach said, are you hurt or does it hurt?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So I played every single snap that year, find out at exit physicals when I'm getting cleared for the Pro Bowl that my career is over. I had C2, C3, disc and bone sitting into my spinal cord, and they weren't sure why the symptoms weren't worse, but there was absolutely no return to playing football.
No. Well, but you've taken on the next aspect of your life. You wrote a book, and in the book you use a term. It's called filling life's buckets.
Yeah.
And that's not a bucket list. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so I started a podcast called What's Next with Eric Wood. We were talking about
Right.
this. And for me, I was trying to figure out what was next in my life. And all I knew was football. Well, I wanted to learn from successful people in success, not even necessarily just wealth. I wanted to, people that had great family lives and great balance in their life, that were healthy and vibrant. And as I learned from these people, most of them were successful in all buckets of life. So not just career, but faith or spirituality, emotional health, physical health as well. Their relationships were strong. Often they were philanthropic, wanting to serve other people. And so when I found that and I was able to study those people, I said, man, success in life is having success in all those buckets in life.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing.
It's interesting to hear you talk about that because even ourselves, we talk about, okay, what's next? There's so many challenges, like, oh my gosh, I climbed that mountain and what resonates with your story, and I think that's helpful to our viewers,
Everybody.
is that you found the common ground, right? That we all have struggles and we all figure out a way to overcome
Right.
that.
Not just an
Right.
athlete's career ending. It's everybody faces these challenges
Yeah.
in different aspects of their life, right?
Yeah, and so this is a book about transitioning into a better next chapter of your life, but more fulfilling, more successful. But that does not have to be a life-altering career change. It doesn't have to be the loss of a loved one or the many changes that COVID had brought about over the last few years. And so that being said, yes, I am a professional athlete talking about my transition and the things I've learned, but this will apply to anybody that simply wants to say, I want to make this next chapter better than my last.
Right.
What are some of the clues you could give or hints or helpful advice to people who think when that aspect of their life ends, it'll never be the same, I'll never be this happy again? What's the first thing you think they should think about and point themselves in the direction of?
Yeah, so it starts off in the book after the story of my career ending about examining your own gifts. We've all been gifted in special ways. Often it's what we enjoyed doing when we were younger, when we weren't forced to do anything. We weren't paid to do it. We weren't expected to do certain things. What did you enjoy doing? What do you do naturally? What lights you up? Figure that out. Figure out your core values, because if you live life in line with your core values, you're going to live a fulfilled life. And then so we go from there to creating a vision, creating a routine that sets you up for success. And all of these things they weren't privy to me when my career ended.
Sure.
These are things that I got to learn along the way, and I felt it'd be selfish of me if I didn't share them with others.
Well, we're so thankful
Great
that you're
athlete and a brilliant guy. Look at
know.
this.
Before you go, do you have a favorite? What do you think is who are we going to be watching in
NFL?
February?
I think the Bills, and that's not just me being a homer.
It's
I mean,
okay, yeah.
Las
They have a
Vegas
great
says,
team. They're a
yeah,
great
Las
team.
Vegas says the same.
Right.
I played against Tom Brady. He was in the division the entire time I was with the Bills. It's hard to bet against him and pick against him, but I'll take the
He's 45.
Packers.
Come on.
Yeah, I'll take the Packers coming out of the NFC.
Okay.
We'll see how that plays out. Thanks so much for spending
you
some
so
time
much.
with
Yeah,
us.
thank you guys for
It's
having
a
me.
great book. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So Tackle What's Next is out for release on Tuesday, October 11th. And you can also listen to What's Next with Eric Wood. That's his podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Listen in.
right.
It's good stuff.